All right, hello, how is everybody out there doing? Before we get started on this video, if you've been enjoying the content, please go ahead and like this video. Also, please subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate the support. So here we go, Fight Island 3, Darren Till versus Robert Whittaker. Now, this is going to be a pretty good fight. So right out the gate, this one has title implications. Obviously, Whittaker just coming off the title loss. Darren Till just beating Kelvin Gastelum, a man who's been a contender in the division. Now, if he were to beat Robert Whittaker, you'd have to think that he'd be on the short list, if not next for the title. This is above and beyond the fact that Adesanya and Paulo Costa have already signed, so that's going to actually be the next one. So I'm referring to the title fight that'll be happening after that. So how's it going to shake out? What's going to happen with it? Robert Whittaker, what's the way that he fights? Let's start out there. First things first that you notice about him, he's really explosive. He likes to stay all the way on the outside, and then he'll explode, cover the distance quick, throw combinations, throws really hard, really aggressive shots. Sometimes he likes to walk his opponents down and come forward. Sometimes he'll bounce around on the balls of his feet from the outside. He's got good leg kicks. You notice the ones that he used against Yoel Romero, where he'll come straight on and try to kick like directly on the knee, or sometimes he'll hit the thigh. You'll see other ones where he'll throw more of a traditional leg kick where he's coming across the thigh with the shin, but he throws it uniquely in the sense that he steps off to the side a little bit when he throws it, and it gets his head and his body out of the way for the typical counters, particularly like a straight right or even a straight left, which is a traditional counter to the leg kick. He'll get himself out of the way. He'll build that defense directly into the way that he throws the kick. So that's really nice. He's got wrestling in his background, although we haven't seen him use that a lot. There's been speculation that he'll go to that for this fight because it's perceived that Darren Till is at least as good as him on the feet, and that Whittaker's got the advantage in the wrestling. That's yet to be seen. We haven't really seen him go to it too much in the UFC. He's traditionally a stand-up guy, traditionally likes to go with his striking, and his striking is good. It's not always the prettiest, but it's good. The way he explodes, the way he throws the combinations, he's got a good jab, and he moves his head out of the way a lot of times when he shoots it, so he's got a lot going for him there. Flip that around, let's look at Darren Till. Now, Darren Till comes from a hardcore striking background, right? Muay Thai particularly. So you look at it, and he's big, he's strong. One of the things that's of note of this fight is Till's coming up from 170 pounds. Normally, you'd think that a guy is coming up from the smaller weight division, he's going to be the smaller man. That might not be the case here. I was looking at him at the weigh-in, and they looked pretty even. I mean, we all know that Darren Till was absolutely ridiculously huge for the division at 170. He was damn near killing him. So remember how he used to make weight? Crawling out of the sauna on the floor? Oh, that looked brutal. Anyways, so here is a 185, which I'm sure is a much more natural division for him. And the question is he going to be the bigger man? Is he going to be the smaller man? I'm not really sure. Not really sure. I think he's going to be longer for sure. He definitely fights taller and longer than Whittaker. And that's going to play into him. He likes to come forward. He's much more flat-footed. Rob will bounce around on the outside on the balls of his feet. Darren Till likes to come forward. He fights like he's the bigger guy. He fights like he's the bully in there. So even if he comes in and he's naturally even at this point with Whittaker, he wants to fight that way. So he's going to come forward. He's going to be flat-footed. He's really looking to deliver the power shots. Now, everything in his game plan, everything that he does is a setup to deliver that left hand. Darren Till has the true mindset of a knockout artist. Can I deliver that shot, and will that shot hurt people and knock them out? If the answer is yes and he continues to see results, his confidence is through the roof. If the answer ever becomes no, a lot of times guys like that get shaken. A lot of who they are as a fighter is all built around that knockout punch. The first person that comes to my mind when I think about that is Tommy Hearns. If you watch boxing from back in the day, you saw that Tommy Hearns had a laser for a right hand, and he used to just smoke guys with it. When he broke that right hand against Hagler, he was coming back. He had to talk to a sports psychiatrist about it a little bit, I think, and there were some comments just about how he was viewing it and how he was going to be able to throw it when he came back and things like that. Now, that's the hitman. Obviously, everything worked out all right for him. And everything's fine with Till. My point in saying all that is that's his mindset. So everything he does is going to be geared towards setting up that left hand and landing it. He's also got some really good leg kicks. And Whittaker's been known to be able to get caught with a few leg kicks in the past. So that's going to play an important role in this fight. But he's much more traditional stand-up. We're not going to really see, in my opinion, we're not going to see Till go to the wrestling. We're not going to see him go out there and try and, get it in the clinch against the cage and drag Whittaker down or try and get like a rear naked choke on him or something, or flip it to an arm bar or something crazy like that. Like, that's not his game at all. I really expect this fight, to be honest, to stay as a stand-up match. It's what both guys have always seemed to prefer in the past, and it's what I think they're going to go to now. The question is going to be, how do they match up strengths and weaknesses? Till likes to come forward. I think Whittaker's going to let that happen. Whittaker's going to be content to bounce around on the outside, on the balls of his feet. Till's going to try to come forward, keep fighting tall, fighting long, with his hands up high. Whittaker's going to look to catch some angles, move around a little bit, and when he sees the time, when he sees the moments, he's going to explode. He's going to explode. He's going to explode between coming with a straight right hand and maybe sometimes as a Superman punch, just a straight right. He's going to look to lead with the left and then come over the top with the right. He's going to look to come in with leg kicks and then explode with 2 or 3 punches. That's going to be his whole game. Till's going to look to do it different. He's going to look to avoid some of those explosions and walk Whittaker down, land those leg kicks and land the right hand. So who's going to be able to control the gap? That's really going to be it. If Whittaker is allowed to explode and control the gap, get into distance, shoot the shots that he wants. Sometimes he lands them, sometimes he doesn't, but he's able to shoot them and then get out of distance. He's probably going to win this fight. He's just got to be able to go in there and control the gap and the timing and the rhythm all through those explosions. He doesn't have to walk forward and be aggressive. He'll back up, be on the balls of his feet, but also not necessarily play the counterpuncher, which is what we traditionally see from guys who back up. Till, he has to control the gap in messing up the way Whittaker's able to explode. Now, Adesanya was able to do that by making Whittaker rush, in my opinion, and making him reach a little bit. And that was throwing his balance and his timing off. And that's when Adesanya was able to find that little gap in there where he was able to find those counters. Is Till going to be able to make him reach like that? I don't think so. That's not really Till's defense. He's not going to be able to back up, work slight angles, get slightly off the center line, and create those opportunities to counter Whittaker. And countering really isn't his game anyways. That's not how he shoots his shots. So for him to be able to control the gap and the distance, he's going to have to come in there and work those leg kicks. The same way Rafael Natal did against Whittaker a few fights back, maybe like 4 or 5 fights ago, something like that. But he got exposed in that fight and a few other fights for leg kicks. And that, in my opinion, with as good as Darren Till's leg kicks are, that's what he's going to have to use to take over this fight. If he can come forward and he can land those leg kicks and he can tear up Rob's leg a little bit, impede his explosiveness, and at the same time mess up his rhythm, mess up his timing, and control the gap, he's going to be able to get his left hand off, which is what it's all about. And he'll probably hurt Rob, may stagger him a few times. Adesanya was able to do it. He's coming off of that knockout loss. There's going to be a lot there for that. Rob has to make sure that doesn't happen. Vegas has Whittaker installed as a slight favorite. He's like neg 130. Darren Till's going off at about plus 105. Almost a 50-50, but not quite. And I can understand that because both of these outcomes are very possible. Both of these guys could implement that game plan and come out with the win. Neither one would surprise me in the least. Now, all that being said, I'm going with Robert Whittaker on this one. I think he's going to come out with the victory. I think he's got more experience against top-level competition. I think he's got more experience going the distance. I think he has more experience fighting bigger men. He's been fighting at 185 longer, and he's handled some monsters, right? Not the least of which was 10 rounds against Yoel Romero. So I think he's going to be more comfortable in there fighting Till than Till will be in there fighting him as a bigger, stronger opponent. I also think that, as I just laid out as far as the striking fundamentals, that he's going to be able to control that distance with his explosiveness and his combinations. He'll be able to land some leg kicks of his own. The opportunity is going to be there with him in the orthodox, Till in the southpaw stance. I also just get this feeling, a good feeling, watching him in the lead up to this fight. He seems loose. He seems relaxed and cool. I think that UFC belt weighs on some people. You know, it seemed to weigh on Silva. It seemed to weigh on GSP a little bit. It was definitely weighing on Rose Namajunas. And I think it may have been weighing on Whittaker a little. He came back from this fight, and I think he seems refreshed. and good to go. So I'm going to take him for the win in this one. I'm not by any means suggesting that we go ahead and throw any money on this. It could very easily turn out with Till getting the victory, but I don't see it that way. I think Robert Whittaker comes out with this. So let me know what you guys think. Again, if you like the content, if you're enjoying this video, go ahead and like it, please. Subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate that support. It means a lot. And let me know what you guys think in the video. Who's going to be able to walk away with this one? Who's going to come out with their hand raised on Saturday?